Whenever there's a Sony press conference, there's always one single thought running through our collective minds. What shirt is Shawn Layden going to be wearing? From Crash to Wipeout to Medieval, Shawn Layden has developed a reputation for bringing dormant Sony franchises back to life through the magic of his shirt. With that said, here are the 8 Sony games that we'd like to see appear on Shawn Layden's shirt. Or, more specifically, the 8 Sony games that we want remade or remastered.
And if that's the way we're starting the show, you can imagine what the rest of the show is going to be like today.
Shinji Mikami's God Hand was, it was a divisive game to say the least. But one thing is for sure, there was nothing like it back in 2006, and there hasn't been since. The brutal difficulty actually scaled the better you performed. Couple this with a deep combat system and a quirky sense of humor, and you have an unforgettable classic on the PS2. Plus, wouldn't it be nice to dragon kick some baddies into the Milky Way in HD?
Dragon kick your ass into the Milky Way. Milky Way.
With the success of Nier Automata, auteur director Yoko Taro's unique storytelling style is finally getting the spotlight it deserves. So, what better time than now to shine some of that spotlight back on Nier's predecessor, DRAKENGARD. A remastered collection featuring DRAKENGARD 1 through 3 would be amazing for people who just got into the series through Nier Automata and who want to check out the origins of its rich lore.
Your answer! A pact or death!
While sliding into unconsciousness, I could somehow, I don't know, hear the voices of the dying.
Sucker Punch may have moved on to Ghost of Tsushima, but hopefully we haven't seen the end of Infamous. The first 2 Infamous games remain some of the best superpowered open-world action games out there, and Cole McGrath will always be one of the most iconic PlayStation-born characters ever.
Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all.
I think we're all long overdue for a new game in the Legacy of KAIN series. And if that's not on the horizon, a remastered collection should be. The Legacy of KAIN games featured some of the best writing and voice acting of the time, and while the gameplay was occasionally clunky, they were still some of the best examples of the action-adventure genre in the 90s and early 2000s. As the follow-up to Chrono Trigger, one of the most beloved JRPGs of all time, Chrono Cross may not have the same legendary status as its predecessor, but it's still viewed as one of the most underrated JRPGs of the PS1 era. Considering the many ports and re-releases Chrono Trigger has had over the years, it's quite surprising that we've never gotten a remaster of Chrono Cross, a fact that Square Enix should rectify so more can play this underappreciated sequel.
Start your engines for a Sony Computer Entertainment America production.
Fans had been hollering for PlayStation's #1 mascot to make a comeback for years, and it finally paid off with the Crash Insane trilogy. But why stop there? Crash Team Racing was the PlayStation's answer to Mario Kart, and while it didn't reinvent the kart racing genre, it was graphically miles ahead of its competition and was a pretty damn good racer in its own right.
Looks like I've got some things to do.
Spyro's right up there with Crash as one of the most iconic PlayStation mascots. And also like Crash, the rights to Spyro now belong to Activision. But one would have to imagine that the success of the Insane trilogy has at least opened Activision's eyes to the potential of a remastered collection of the first 3 Spyro games by Insomniac. Demon's Souls was the starting foundation of the Soulsborne genre, and even though it was the first of the franchise, it's still widely regarded as one of the best. It also predates the Souls series' massive popularity explosion on the heels of Dark Souls in 2011. That means there's likely a lot of Souls fans out there that have yet to play Demon's Souls, which is a tragedy that can be remedied with a PS4 remaster. That's our list, but we want to know what you think. Sound off in the comments about what Sony games you still want to see remastered or remade. Thanks for watching, and while you're here, why not check out our Best of 2017 coverage, including our pick for the best PlayStation game. And for everything else, keep it right here on IGN.